The Los Angeles Lakers are sitting at 17-6 right now, one of the best starts we've had in years. And yet there's a massive problem lurking beneath the surface that could derail our entire championship aspirations if it's not addressed immediately. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your ultimate destination for breaking news, insider analysis, and everything you need to know about our Los Angeles Lakers. This is where Lakers Nation gathers to get the real story behind every roster move, every strategic decision, and every development that shapes our pursuit of banner number 18. And what I'm about to discuss with you today involves a potential trade that could completely transform our defensive identity and give us the missing piece that turns us from a good team into a legitimate championship contender. Something significant is developing right now in NBA front offices, and it involves a player who could be the exact solution to the Lakers' biggest weakness. We're talking about an elite defender, an all-defensive caliber wing who can guard multiple positions, who brings intensity and toughness that our current roster desperately lacks, and who's on a team-friendly contract that makes him one of the most valuable trade targets in the entire league. The conversations are happening, the framework is being discussed, and Lakers Nation needs to understand exactly what's at stake, because this could be the move that defines our season. Before I dive into the specifics of who we're talking about and how this trade could actually happen, let me establish the context, because understanding our current situation is crucial to grasping why this move is so critical. The Lakers are 17-6, which sounds fantastic on the surface. We're winning games, we're competing, and we look like a playoff team. But here's the uncomfortable truth that every serious basketball analyst is pointing out. We rank number 20 in defensive efficiency. Number 20. That's bottom third of the league defensively, and you simply cannot win a championship with that kind of defensive performance. Think about every championship team in recent NBA history. The Bucks, when they won, had an elite defense anchored by Giannis. The Warriors, during their dynasty years, were consistently top 5 defensively. The Raptors, when they won, had multiple elite defenders including Kawhi Leonard and Marc Gasol. Defense wins championships, and right now, the Lakers don't have championship-level defense. We have a collection of talented offensive players who can score in bunches. But when it comes to getting stops in crucial moments, when it comes to shutting down elite scorers in the playoffs, we're vulnerable. And this isn't just my opinion. Anonymous NBA scouts have been brutally honest about our defensive limitations. One scout recently said that the Lakers have no shot at winning a title with their current starting unit, specifically calling out that we have 5 guys who can't play a lick of defense. That's harsh, but it's also accurate when you look at the numbers and watch the games closely. Luka Doncic is an offensive maestro, but he's not known for his defensive prowess. Austin Reeves has improved, but he's not an elite defender. LeBron James, at this stage of his career, picks his spots defensively. Rui Hachimura is inconsistent on that end. And DeAndre Ayton, while he's a good rim protector, isn't the kind of versatile defender who can switch onto guards and wings. So what's the solution? How do the Lakers fix this glaring weakness without completely blowing up the roster that's gotten us to 17-6? The answer is adding an elite perimeter defender, someone who can guard the opposing team's best player every single night, someone who brings that defensive intensity and intelligence that changes the entire complexion of your defense. And there's one name that keeps coming up in trade discussions, one player who fits the profile perfectly, one defender who could be available before the February 5th trade deadline, Herb Jones. That's the name that has Lakers fans buzzing, that has NBA insiders connecting to Los Angeles, and that represents exactly the kind of player Rob Pelinka should be targeting. Jones plays for the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's established himself as one of the premier wing defenders in the entire NBA. We're talking about a guy who made the all-defensive team, who can guard positions 1 through 4, who has the size, strength, and basketball IQ to shut down elite scorers, and who does all the little things that don't show up in the box score, but make a massive difference in winning basketball games. Jones' defensive metrics are outstanding. He consistently ranks among the league leaders in deflections. He's an elite on-ball defender who can stay in front of quick guards, and he has the versatility to switch onto bigger forwards without getting exploited. But what makes Jones even more valuable is that he's not just a defensive specialist who hurts you on offense. He's a capable three-point shooter who's improved his offensive game every year. He's an excellent cutter who understands how to play off stars, and he's the kind of high IQ player who fits seamlessly into any system. Now here's where this gets really interesting. According to NBA insider Jake Fisher, the New Orleans Pelicans are starting to show willingness to listen to offers for both Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. The Pelicans don't own their 2026 first-round pick, which means they're motivated to accumulate draft assets for the future. They're in a difficult position where they're not competing for a championship this year. They have injury concerns with several key players, and they might be looking to retool rather than continue trying to compete with their current core. Fisher specifically mentioned that multiple teams around the league have expressed serious interest in Jones, and for good reason. Jones is on what's considered a very team-friendly contract. He signed a 3-year, $68 million extension with the Pelicans last offseason, but he's currently in the final year of his previous deal, making just $13.9 million this season. That salary structure is incredibly valuable because it means the Lakers wouldn't need to trade multiple contracts to match salaries. We could potentially acquire him without completely gutting our roster, but here's the challenge. The Pelicans aren't going to give Jones away for nothing. According to reporting from The Athletic, New Orleans won't deal Murphy or Jones unless they receive an offer that blows them away. They're seeking at least one first-round pick for Jones, and they have an even higher price tag for Murphy, who's one of the best sharpshooters in the league. The Pelicans are in a position of strength here because they know how valuable Jones is, they know multiple teams are interested, and they can afford to wait for the right offer. So, what would a realistic trade package look like for the Lakers to acquire Herb Jones? Yahoo Sports analyst Kevin O'Connor proposed a deal that makes a lot of sense from both sides. The Lakers would send Gabe Vincent, Dalton Knecht, and a future first-round pick to New Orleans in exchange for Jones. Let me break down why this trade works and what it would mean for both teams. From the Lakers' perspective, you're giving up Vincent, who's been a solid role player but isn't essential to our core rotation. You're parting with Knecht, a promising young player but someone who's still developing and might not reach his potential for several years. And you're sending out one tradable first-round pick, which the Lakers do have available in either 2031 or 2032. In return, you're getting an immediate upgrade at a position of need, an elite defender who can start alongside your stars, and a player who's in his prime and ready to contribute to a championship run right now. For the Pelicans, they'd be receiving a young prospect in Knecht, who has real upside as a scorer, a veteran in Vincent, who can provide depth, and most importantly, that first-round pick that helps them build for the future. Given their current situation and their need to accumulate assets, this package would give them flexibility and value without being an overpay from the Lakers' perspective. Now, some Lakers fans might be hesitant about giving up Dalton Knecht. I get it. Knecht has shown flashes of being a really good scorer. He's young, he's on a rookie contract, and there's potential there. But we need to be realistic about our championship window. LeBron James is not getting any younger. We have a roster that's capable of competing right now, and we can't afford to wait for young players to develop. If we want to maximize this opportunity, if we want to give ourselves the best chance to win a championship while we still have LeBron, then we need to make win-now moves. Trading potential for proven production is exactly what championship teams do. Let me paint a picture of what the Lakers would look like with Herb Jones in the starting lineup. Imagine a starting five of Luka Doncic running the offense, Austin Reeves providing secondary playmaking and shooting, Herb Jones locking down the opposing team's best perimeter player, LeBron James orchestrating from the forward position, and DeAndre Ayton protecting the rim. That lineup immediately becomes exponentially better defensively. Jones would take the toughest defensive assignment every night, allowing LeBron to conserve energy and pick his spots. Reeves wouldn't have to guard elite scorers, which would help him stay fresh for his offensive contributions. And the entire defensive structure would improve because you'd have an elite point-of-attack defender setting the tone. Offensively, Jones wouldn't hurt you either. He's shooting a respectable percentage from three. He's an excellent cutter who knows how to play off ball-dominant stars, and he's the kind of unselfish player who does whatever the team needs. He wouldn't require plays to be called for him, he wouldn't disrupt the offensive flow, and he'd make winning plays that might not show up in the stat sheet, but absolutely matter in close games. The impact of adding Jones goes beyond just the starting lineup. It would change the entire defensive culture of the team. When you have an all-defensive caliber player who brings maximum effort every possession, it raises the standard for everyone else. Role players start competing harder on defense because they see their star defender setting the example. The coaching staff can implement more aggressive defensive schemes because they have the personnel to execute them. And in playoff basketball, when games slow down and become more physical, having elite defenders becomes even more critical. There's also the psychological element to consider. Right now, opposing teams know they can attack the Lakers defensively. They know they can hunt mismatches, they know they can get favorable matchups, and they know the Lakers don't have that lockdown defender who can completely take away their best player. Adding Herb Jones changes that calculation. Suddenly, opposing coaches have to game plan around an elite defender who can shut down their primary scoring option. That forces them to adjust their offense, to rely on secondary options, and to work much harder for quality shots. Anonymous scouts and analysts have been vocal about the Lakers needing to make this exact type of move. One scout specifically said that Rob Pelinka should be calling New Orleans nonstop trying to trade for Herb Jones once he becomes eligible to be moved. That's not hyperbole, that's a professional basketball evaluator telling you that this is the move that could transform the Lakers from a good team into a championship contender. When people who study basketball for a living are unanimously saying you need to make a specific move, you should probably listen. Now, let's address the potential obstacles to this trade happening. First, the Lakers would be using their only tradable first-round pick, which means they'd be going all in on this season and the immediate future. That's a significant commitment, and it would prevent them from making other big trades unless they get creative with pick swaps or future protections. Second, other teams are also interested in Herb Jones, which means the Lakers might face competition and potentially have to sweeten their offer. And third, there's always the possibility that the Pelicans decide they don't want to trade Jones at all, that they'd rather keep him and try to compete once their injured players return. But here's my take on all of that. The Lakers are in a unique position where they need to maximize their championship window while they have LeBron James. You can't be timid. You can't hold on to assets hoping for a better opportunity down the road, and you can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Herb Jones is exactly the type of player the Lakers need. He's potentially available, and the price tag is reasonable. If Rob Pelinka can get this deal done, he absolutely should pull the trigger. Think about what this move would signal to the rest of the league. It would show that the Lakers are serious about competing for a championship, that they're willing to make the necessary moves to address their weaknesses, and that they're not content with just being a good regular season team. It would energize the fan base, it would give the coaching staff better tools to work with, and it would put the entire roster on notice that the organization is committed to winning at the highest level. The February 5th trade deadline is approaching, and the Lakers need to make a decision about what kind of team they want to be. Do they want to be a team that's satisfied with a good record and a playoff appearance? Or do they want to be a team that's genuinely competing for banner number 18? If it's the latter, then acquiring Herb Jones needs to be the top priority. This is the move that could define our season, that could be the difference between a disappointing playoff exit and a legitimate championship run. So here we are, Lakers Nation, staring at a potential trade that could completely change the trajectory of our season. Herb Jones, one of the elite wing defenders in the NBA, could be wearing purple and gold if Rob Pelinka is willing to make the move. The framework is there, the interest is mutual, and the fit is perfect. Now it's just a matter of whether the Lakers are willing to pay the price and commit to being a championship-level defensive team. Now, I want to hear from you, Lakers faithful. Would you support trading Gabe Vincent, Dalton Knecht, and a first-round pick to acquire Herb Jones? Do you think Jones is the missing piece that transforms our defense? Are you willing to give up Knecht's potential for Jones's proven production? And do you believe this move would make us legitimate championship contenders? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I want to know where Lakers Nation stands on this potentially franchise-altering trade. If you're loving this kind of in-depth analysis and you want to stay locked in on every development, every trade possibility, every strategic decision as the Lakers navigate this crucial season, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn notifications. This is Lakers News Fan Report, and we're here every single day bringing you the breaking news and expert insights you need to stay ahead of the game. Lakers Nation, let's get Banner 18. See you in the next one.